Hello, everyone. This is the 22nd and 24th President of the United States, George Foreman, here with a message about a new kind of hair loss treatment that not only doesn't work, but makes you incontinent and suicidal along the way. Hair loss reversal. The impossible is now morbidly expensive. You can follow Ryan O'Connor at Wrangleshank on Instagram and Twitter. The link is in the description. Also in the description is the link to the Bonehead cartoon. Furthermore, be sure to like, share, and subscribe to all things Wrangleshank and all things Ink the Book. Thank you.
It's time for Ink the Book Show with your host, Ryan O'Connor. And now, let's ink the book.
Hey everybody! I'm back in the saddle after 2 days of being gone. It's good to be alive, and it's good to have my dad alive. My dad went into the hospital because he's having shortness of breath, walking short distances for, I guess, about 3 weeks. And went to the hospital, had a bunch of tests, showed nothing. And then finally, one final test showed that he had a 95% blockage on his, like, one of his main arteries in his heart, and was probably going to have a heart attack like any time now. And so he had a couple stents put in, and he's good as new ish, I think, as far as I can tell. Seems like his old self. He was out of the hospital the very next day doing his normal stuff, hanging with his buddies and singing in his band. So that was a roller coastery 2 days, mostly just the 1 day. But that's why I haven't been here. But now I'm back at the art table, ready to draw page 183. Let's get into it. Dad's doing good. I'm doing good. Now that Dad's doing good, let's get some light on here. The weird thing is, everybody was getting little glimpses of him getting short of breath, I guess, here and there. I didn't even know that was happening. Or if I did see it happening, I thought it had to do with his knees. He just had a knee replacement, and we originally thought it had to do with that. We were worried he would have blood clots that were going to be bad for him, but no blood clots. No, nothing like that. Just a 20-year-old buildup in his heart. But he's doing good. So go see your doctors, everybody. Don't be afraid to see your doctors. And go hug your dads today, if you can. Screw grudges. Go get them. So the first day, so I've been I just finished my third overnight shift in a row. So I went and worked so on the last time I was streaming, my mom tried to call me for a minute, but then she hung up before I could pick up the call. And I was like, oh, maybe she just remembered that I told her I was supposed to be working, because I thought I was supposed to be working 11 to 7 a.m. like a normal human being. But then I got to work and it was 11 p.m. to 7 a.m. It was an overnight shift. I was like, oh, I guess I'm working overnights again. So I was like, oh, she probably remembered that I told her I was supposed to be working at this time. Oh, well, I'll call her back. And after the show, I called her back, and she was letting me know that my dad was in the hospital. He checked himself into the hospital because of the shortness of breath thing. And I was like, oh, okay. Well, that hospital, it's right by my work. So I worked till 7 a.m. and went right over to the hospital. It's literally like a couple blocks from where I work. And I hung out with him I was at that hospital from 7 a.m. ish, 7:15 a.m. probably, till like maybe 9:30 p.m. So I was there for about 14 hours, and then went right back to work, did another overnight shift, and went right back to the hospital the next day. But that was after he had his little operation, his little procedure where they put the stents in, which, and then I don't know, and then I gave him a ride home around noon that day. So I was there for 5 hours that day. Oof. There we go. I was saying it was remarkable that his only scar with them putting 2 stents in his heart, his only scar is like a dot on his wrist where they did the angiogram, and they kind of did everything up into his wrist, sent everything along up in his wrist to his artery in his chest. So that's his only scar. And he was able to go hang out with his buddies and sing with his band the very next day. Doctor approved. What an age to be alive. Everyone at that hospital was so pleasant and sweet and doing a great job taking care of my dad. I was just really impressed. And man, I was in love with the staff there. They were wonderful. What a long couple of days. So that's where I've been. Yeah, my dad's dad, my grandfather, I never met. He died at the age of 45 to a heart attack. And it was like right after he had started eating healthier and working out and quit smoking and drinking. It's like right after New Year's. And this was 50 years ago when my dad was 11. My dad's 61 now. And he was on the brink of the same thing. My uncle reminded my dad, and I've heard this before, my uncle reminded my dad that they went to, I think, a Cubs game or something. Like, no, I thought it was after New Year's. I don't know. I have some details mixed up in my head. But it was like my uncle went to a Cubs game or something with my grandfather, and he was having to stop and take a minute every so often right before or while they were out somewhere doing something. I guess a Cubs game in my mind anyway. And it was like a week later he dropped dead. And that's what my dad has been doing for the past 3 weeks. My dad's dad didn't even make it to 50. Like I say, he was 45. That was a close one. That was the closest one yet in my family. In other news, my brother Liam's talking about trying to make music with me. Make some of my songs that I wrote between high school and like 5 years ago. For fun. I'd really like to get into that. That sounds fun to me. What else? We did a Nam Just earlier this week that we need to get edited. We might be. It sounds like we're trying to bring my my other brother in on the editing end of it. To make it a little easier to produce. What else? What else? My roommate's downstairs with his dad. Changing his brakes right now. I got an idea today for get some better lighting in here, because whether or not it comes across in the video, which it probably does, the lighting's pretty. It leaves something to be desired in this room. So I got an idea today for something I can do with that. I think it might just help my demeanor and everything to get some decent lighting in here. Let alone the visual quality of this program. Okay, here's Bonehead. Bonehead would be turning to his left. No, his right. There, he's turning to his left. Let me tinker. Let me tinker, will you? So I'm just tracing this. Can see if I can just, what is it, X flip it. Might not work. Yeah, so I was, let me do the whole thing, or it won't look like a turn. It'll just look like he's trying to make a point or something. Like I said, so that first day after doing an overnight shift and then spending 14 hours at the hospital, I got probably like 2 hours of sleep throughout the day in a chair at the hospital. And then I did another shift at work, and then yesterday when I got, I think before we left the hospital at noon, I think I fell asleep in the chair again. So that'd be over his right shoulder. Yeah. This kind of breaks the, oh no, wait, dang it. Oh, yeah. So let me trace it to this side of the paper. So I probably fell asleep for a bit in the chair again in my dad's room. And then I went home and crashed on my parents' couch. Once I got my dad home, I crashed on my parents' couch for like 4 hours. And I think then I went home. I don't remember if I slept some more, but I think I did. And yeah, I did. And then I went and did another overnight shift. And I came home and I slept some more. So I am all slept up. I should say the first thing that we did at home, my mom had made, she'd fried up some steaks that I had bought my dad before he went into the hospital on Father's Day. And we ate some steaks. I ate some steak and a beer. My dad had a steak. And then, yeah, right after that, I crashed. I don't think I even finished it. Eventually, I did, but yeah, I didn't finish it at first. Oh, good heavens. Life is good, though. Life is going good. So that's what we're going to do. Erase the likes of him and then retrace him facing the other way because he should be. Don't I have an actual eraser? Here we go. Here's some stuff to erase. I don't know why I said here's some stuff. Just something to say, I suppose. Yeah, but I slept a ton today in my bed. That was much needed. Oh yeah, and I was able to take a shower yesterday. Get this: the 2 days I spent all that time in the hospital. I was wearing this white T-shirt that just said "Doom" across the front of it in bright blue and red. Not intentional. Not my ideal hospital attire. Also, over the course of the 2 days, I was getting coffee spilt all over it. I looked like a total slob. I hadn't taken a shower. So when I got home yesterday, I was finally able to take a shower. That was wonderful. I was never skankier than the past 2 days. But yeah, hug your dad today. Screw the grudge, if there is one. I had a grudge against my two of my brothers, for the longest time. And then once they had kids, I just went, you know what, that's over. And they're actually like two of my best friends in the world now. That might be easier said than done for some people. But if you can make good, I say do it. Trying to make this not a tangent. I'm trying not to plant tangents in my drawing. This should be. Again, I don't want perfect connections. It'd be better if he broke that line, but it's going to be too stretchy on his head. Okay, that's better. Okay. Oh, I was thinking I was finished with that first panel, but I'm not. Forget what you heard. I ain't done. Oh wait, that should actually be a ruler anyway. I've been using the rulers to do these memory squares. I can use a brush for the inside, but for the perfect lines on the outside, ruler. I have done all of this plus some, and all these things, I'm not done. So one of the other rules for these memories is I'm trying not to fill in any of the black areas with ink. I'm going to do that in the color with just darker colors so there won't be any blacks, and it'll kind of help it separate from the rest of the world, the tangible world, because these are going to be like holograms. So like his eyes, I won't fill in black like I usually do. His mouth, I won't fill in black. I'm not gonna throw drop shadows on everything. Like under those cushions, I would be tempted to normally. I'm not done, I'm not through yet. My mind won't let my heart forget. I'm not done. I was going to turn off my little space heater here. But I already did it. I'm running at triple efficiency right now, which means one panel at triple efficiency takes me half an hour to do. Okay. So let me kind of make it somewhat parallel. That's what I'm trying to do here. So what good is it looking mechanical if it's not parallel, you know? It won't really sell like I want it to. I'm not making it relatively perfect. Woo! Smack my light. Smack my desk lamp with the ruler. Like there was a grudge. Oh, you know what? I'm a doofus. I always forget silly things and make silly mistakes all the ding dong day. Oh, that's the one I want to fix. So I'm going to get rid of this here because it's staggered. The vertical rule lines go all the way across, but these ones are staggered. Got a bunch of white on my hand. That's the first for this book. I've done that. Yeah. No, that shouldn't be there. Dang it. I'm dumb. But a dumb guy sure has an easy time fixing his mistakes. Those are pretty nice. Oh, hey, Crimson. I'm doing good. I spent the last 2 days with my dad in the hospital. He was like that close to having a heart attack. Apparently, he had 95% blockage in one of his main arteries. But they were able to fix it like that. They put 2 stents in, and he's doing good. He was back home and able to hang out and sing in his band with his buddies yesterday. So I am doing great. I spent 14 hours in the hospital the other day. Yeah, he's doing really good now. He's at least when I left him around, when we parted ways around, I think 5 or 6 o'clock yesterday, he was doing good. I think he can't drive for another day. And then he's got to get all these checkups, but he's doing pretty good. He was having shortness of breath walking like short distances, I guess, even when we were out at the little lake house we went to a couple weeks ago. And so he decided to go the day after Father's Day to the hospital, and all the tests were showing negative. Nothing wrong. They thought it might have to do with blood clots in his leg from the surgery, but everything they checked was showing nothing. And then they did this angiogram where they send this like dye into your veins, and it kind of maps out like your veins and your arteries and stuff. And that finally showed like a 95% blockage in one of his main arteries, and they were able to. He just had like they just put a thing in his wrist, and they were able to do everything through his wrist. So, but he's got 2 stents in his right. I keep using the wrong word. Coronary artery, and they were able to break all the plaque up and get it out of there. And he is doing good. He was carrying on like normal, like you would never have known anything had happened to him. But he was getting nervous throughout the day, and I was just trying to keep him company. So I was at the hospital 14 hours the other day, 5 hours yesterday until he was ready to go home, and I gave him a ride home. Yeah, it is. That's what I said. It's amazing what they can do without opening people up. So he on a big change of diet and stuff now. They didn't really say much about his diet. What they told him was he has to quit smoking, which is not something he's done in like almost 30 years. But cigarettes anyway. He'll smoke pot a little bit, but they were saying that wasn't so much a problem, but I feel like that probably doesn't help. But that was, I think they've got him on, I think they want him to, I don't know, I think they put him on a little bit of a restrictive diet for the time being, but it might have just been while he was at the hospital is what it sounded like to me. So they didn't really say much about his diet, though. That on its own shouldn't be a problem, seeing as it opens up the vessels. Okay. But yeah, he's doing good. Let's see. Say to avoid fatty meats and processed foods and stuff. Yeah, they didn't even say anything about that. I think even in the notes that they gave him, there wasn't really anything about that. But I guess they thought it mostly had to do with smoking, and even still, I think a lot of that was from years and years ago. Oh, I don't know. At least the start of it was years and years ago. But I don't know. Yeah, I was there for everything. Just about everything that they talked to him about. I didn't hear any of that. She even went over all the notes with him before we left. And I was surprised. I was thinking they're gonna at least put him on a temporary diet, but they got him some they got him on some medications. One of which he has to take for a year. He's got to do a bunch of checkups and follow-ups and stuff. That's how my grandfather died too. I was saying before, like when my grandfather turned 45, he had just quit smoking and drinking and was trying to eat healthier. And I think it might have had to do with like him doing everything at once, kind of was like kind of too much at once. And one night he was walking home and just dropped dead of a heart attack when my dad was 11. So 50 years later, when my dad's 61, it looks like that was about to happen to him too. But it didn't. Oh, and then tomorrow, I'm really excited because, on a separate note, because my buddy and his wife, who I will say is also my buddy, they are flying in. They flew in from Texas this week, and we're going to be hanging out tomorrow. So that's exciting. That's the way love is meant to be. Yeah, it was surreal because, you know, you thought it was just going to be something small when we got there, and then uh, everything was showing up negative, and we were like, man, we're probably going to be going home soon. And then, because he was worried about his heart years ago when he turned about his dad's age, when he turned 45, and he thought he was having a heart attack or something, but I think it was just like a panic attack, really. And he got to the hospital and nothing. It might have even been a similar deal, but it was like nothing. And they just sent him home with some medication and like a big old hospital bill. Um, but as far as anyone could tell us, it was nothing. And that was, yeah, about 16 years ago. So we were like, it's probably nothing. He's probably just, I don't know, not imagining it, because he would know if he was, like last time it was it seemed like it was like a panic attack thing. And this time it actually seemed like a physical thing, but which is, I think, why the one doctor insisted on continuing to run tests, because she was like, well, it's not nothing. But we were just assuming we were going to be going home soon, and then they kept tacking on new tests. Like, just when we thought we were about to go home, there was like another test to do every time. And then yeah, I was with my dad, and he was like, they were telling him, okay, we're gonna run this into your wrist, and then if it's nothing, it'll be about 10 minutes. If we find something, it'll be about an hour, and then we'll take care of it. And then they walk away for a minute and kind of like leave us alone. And my dad's like, I don't want to do this anymore. I didn't know I would still be here, and this is getting kind of creepy. And I was like, well, he's like, I kind of want to go home. I was like, well, we'll see if you want to go home, because maybe this is exactly where you want to be. And yep, they cured what ailed him. I was really glad, because I'm usually like the least available person in my house. Like, I'm always, my work schedule is so unreliable and all over the place. Like, I'm usually like the least likely to be available for stuff at the drop of a hat, you know. But I got to be there the whole time with him, and I think he really appreciated that and was happy somebody could stick around with him the whole time. He said, so many medical places now. Oh wait, good thing you got him to the hospital and they put time into doing the tests. Yeah, definitely. So many medical places nowadays just don't bother if they get negatives. Yeah, and it was funny because I guess some other time he went to a hospital, like fairly recently. Someone just kind of came into the room, and they weren't necessarily part of his medical team, like looking after him. And they just kind of like signed him up for a bunch of separate tests and like kind of tacked him onto his hospital bill. and he was really annoyed about that when he found out it was kind of like non-crucial, like separate stuff, someone just trying to make money off him. So this woman comes in that he hadn't seen yet, and she was asking him all kinds of questions about his heart and stuff, and like talking about doing the angiogram that kind of saved him. The most crucial of all the tests that they did. When she first came in and started talking to him about his heart, he was like, "And who are you?" And blah, like he was very like doubtful about her because he hadn't talked to her or anything, talked about anything that she was talking about yet, I think. And so, he just had got a weird vibe from her, and he was kind of being like really short and rude with her just because he thought it was something like that. And then it turned out that she was the one who initiated the angiogram that was, like I say, the most crucial part of the whole hospital visit. So he was trying to extend an apology to her through the rest of the staff the whole rest of the time. And I think she was avoiding coming back to the room because he was just being really standoffish and kind of blunt with her. Like, I don't know. Blunt and short with her. But she knew what to do, I guess. Now, if we could just convince my mom to get like a checkup. My mom's always afraid of. She doesn't trust doctors. She doesn't want to go to the hospital ever. She's real. She's always like self-diagnosing and stuff like that. I was like, Mom, now we just got to get you in for a checkup because it would be a shame if, we're all sighing our relief about Dad being okay, and then you drop dead of something. That could have been prevented. And she goes, yeah, she's like, yep, maybe. Which is the most enthusiastic response I've gotten from her on such matters in the past 10 years, 15 years even. I made a joke like that where I was like, next time maybe we'll just skip to shaving you, because they shaved his arm and then his groin in case the arm didn't work. So I was like, maybe next time we'll just skip right to shaving you. And then when they only needed to go through the wrist, I was like, oh, so the groin was just for fun then. Yeah, I'm glad the wrist worked though. They were saying that it was kind of getting caught at first, and they didn't think it was working, but then they managed to break through the plaque by going in through the wrist. For a while, it didn't seem to be working, but it did eventually. There's a new character on this page. This is one of Bonehead's memories. One in the next box? Yeah. There's this guy. And that is his girlfriend Petunia's dad, who I don't think was even in this story originally, but I think I added this little bit at the last minute as I was writing the script. It was like one of those things that it was kind of like a surprise that bumped up the quality of the story a good bit. See, it's almost 11 o'clock. I'll finish this page though. I wasn't able to start it till I think it was almost 9. Yeah. No, I think it was. I think it was almost 10. Because it's almost been an hour now. So yeah, it was like 9:45. I started the stream. So this is a memory, which I've been in when they're in the backgrounds. I've been not doing the black, not filling in any blacks. But I don't mind doing it when it's up close like this, because I can do color holds on the lines where I just kind of transform all the blacks to some other color, like a dark orange or like a red or something. I'll have to do it all black here anyhow. The silhouette panel down there. So what's up with you, Crimson? Anything new? Anything exciting? I don't know what me and my buddy are doing tomorrow. But I always love when my friends come in from out of town. Said, it's not really, but you started medication for pain. Oh, yeah. It's been a week and all it's doing so far is making you drowsy and dopey. Still, huh? Haven't really done anything. Been super depressed and just keeping to yourself lately. Dang. Well, I hope you're able to get out of it. My friend, she started taking Chantix to help her quit smoking, and she thinks she's done with it because it was putting creepy suicidal thoughts into her head, and she is not like that at all. And yeah, so she's putting that aside, and she's talking to her doctor. She's going to talk to her doctor about like maybe doing something else. She's like, yeah, like I didn't feel like she's like, I wonder if I could just jump off of something. I don't know. She was just like getting weird ideas to like hurt herself, and she was like, why am I thinking like that? Yeah, that's what my dad did actually. I think he was trying the patches for a minute and was just like, I'm just gonna quit. And that worked for him. And my mom, actually. My mom did the same thing. I've been struggling with suicidal thoughts and urges since I was 13 and self-harming since then too. Jiminy Christmas. I'm sorry. That's so terrible. That kind of stuff breaks my heart. There's this girl that I know that was having trouble with that too. It's like I don't even know how to speak to it because it's like I don't know. It's hard to argue with your thoughts sometimes. You know what I mean? Like it's like if the pilot decides to jump out of the plane, and you don't know how to fly a plane. Now what? He said, after the breakdown, I developed sensitivity issues with light and sound and heat, and the bird triggers it with its constant screeching. Oh no. Who knows how much it affects me, but won't find it a new home. She has no interest in making it stop when he starts. And when I lose my chin, and gets all agitated and angry, she screams at me and tells me to leave. Expensive rent is, doesn't know how people can afford to do it, but she wants me to move out and go rent knowing I can't afford it. She cares more about others than she does me. I don't know about that, but it's, you know, like life is complicated for your mom too. Not to take somebody else's side in what you're telling me. I'm just saying. I'm sure she. I don't know. I'm sure she loves you very much all the same. Is all I guess I'm trying to say. Without being able to prove it. Sorry, I shouldn't talk like that. She is being paid a part. Cruise payment to help me. Sorry, I missed a bunch of comments. If it was my sister with these problems, she would have gotten rid of the burden from the start, but I'm not her. I'm only one paying for things, pay my own way. She doesn't have to do anything for me. It's always me helping her. And she's being paid. Okay, and then you said, no, she doesn't care about you. I was told in my teens how she didn't want a second child so soon after taking so long to get the first one. Oh, that's no way to talk to somebody, especially, by the way, somebody who deals with depression and stuff like that. And this other girl I know has similar issues with her parents, kind of putting her down all the time, knowing that she has issues with depression and stuff like that. And I think that's really lousy. Yeah. What about your sister? Do you get along with your sister well? If I wrote out all I've dealt with, because family and then relationships with so-called friends and partners, even a shrink would. Oh gosh. No, you don't talk. Okay. Dang. There's no one. I mean, I'm sure you've racked your brain, but there's no one like you might be better suited to live with out there, like a friend or somebody. Helping my father with his business, making him money and shooting stuff we used to do. It's terrible. Oh, Crimson. I'm sorry, that's the way it is. See, I always try to like rack my brains for ways to help people in tough scenarios like that, and it's like I don't know what to do. Like I'm just it it makes me grateful that things aren't like that in my life, but it's like I feel bad that I don't even know what to do to help somebody. Because I feel like you just shouldn't be living with people that talk to you that way and are that like bitter against you. That's another thing. It's like I feel like the same friend. Like she's always telling me what her therapist says about this, or or I'm like, doesn't your therapist do anything about this? And they're like, no, not really. Like, yikes! It's like why bother going to a shrink if they can't like offer you some kind of advice or comfort? And she's got some terrible things that need dealing with um, from her past, and I just feel like I don't know what her therapist should be doing, but I feel like it isn't as little as they seem to be doing. That kind of freaks me out. Um, your clinical psychologist would tell you about her life and her problems and then told you you were possessed by a demon. Not been to one in 2 years. There's no point. I leave feeling worse than I did going in. I think I'd seen 6 years ago about self-harm, and they told you it was a juvenile act for attention and that you should grow up. That sounds professional. I think these therapists should grow up. You know, there's and I will say I was really impressed again that I was really impressed with all the nurses and doctors that I saw the past couple days. They were nothing but professional and wonderful and helpful and sweet and kind. But I've seen so many medical professionals who are just prissy, like can't be bothered to do this, can't be bothered to do that. They don't follow up, don't follow through, don't do this, don't do that. They're like so unprofessional, so lazy and dismissive and stuff like that, and where it just kind of sickens me. But again, I not the people I've seen in the past 2 days. They were nothing but wonderful, which I am tremendously grateful for. But I find, and I was talking to somebody about this last night who was trying to get into the has been in the, like, not medical per se, healthcare, I'll say. And she just was telling me she's done with healthcare, because she's like, all these people, they don't know how to talk to patients, they don't know how to, like, show compassion or empathy, just kind of the same stuff. They can't be bothered to, go out of their way for this or that. And she's like, I'm done with the medical field or healthcare field. And it's sad. It's like the people who get paid most for it, that in circles I know, are like the most uppity people. I don't know. It just kind of makes me sad and angry. I don't want to hurt myself. I don't want to be depressed or struggle with physical pain on the daily or fight the voices in my head urgently. All the pills made things worse and created more issues. Yeah, like, like, pills are fine if they help you think clear and think safer and stuff like that. But, just throwing pills at people, it's like, that's not good enough. And it's like, I do know so many people, it's like they're on a constant cycle of mystery pills, just kind of balancing stuff out, and maybe it'll work, maybe it won't, but, like, figuring it out over the course of, like, years and years and years is kind of alarming to me. I will say that I think there is something to doing something that makes you happy even when you don't want to do it every day, like working on this comic, for example. I think that's been good for me and good for my outlook on life and good for my own mental health. Not that I really struggle with any burning mental issues, but I get, like, little bouts of, like, I don't know, just everything sucks, and I'm just fed up with everything. But I think just kind of, like, having something that I enjoy and work hard at every day just for myself, I think there's something to that kind of has helped over the past couple of years. Like this, my animation before that was like I was like, for a while it seemed like I was getting angrier and angrier all the time. I was just always upset about something, and it was like I just felt like I was stuck at this dead end job and nothing was gonna get better, and I was kind of nesting in this depression. And I think it's healthy to have something like this to work at. I mean, it's probably not all anyone needs, but I would think that having a project you care about to work on every day, to chip away at, and something that you can make yourself work on a little bit every day, even when you don't want to, I think is I think could be pretty helpful for people. And let's see. Vucky's here. I haven't seen Vucky in like months. Hi Vucky, how's it going? Why I've not streamed. And yeah, that's an additional problem that you have is you get so like fatigued and filled with pain and stuff. Lucky is doing good, he guesses. So what's new with you, Vucky? My dad just got out of the hospital. He had 2 stents put in his heart the other day. But he's back to normal already, pretty much, for the most part. Just has to go easy on labor for a bit. But that was a scary day. Wait, this is like the sole of his shoe. I'm gonna clean that out. There we go. Not much. You're starting to realize people really aren't impressive. Starting with me. Who's underwhelming you, Vucky? Is it me? It's probably me. Um, yeah, I remember just kind of like realizing, oh, all these adults in my life are just kind of, they're all just making it up as they're going. They're all just faking it till they make it. Real life people don't know shit, and the internet people are ultimately replaceable, and they all know that. Yeah. If anyone's taking themselves too seriously, like they know something other people don't, they are they they would do well to learn that they ain't jack. Let me pull this down a tad. Yeah, it's like for a while I was like watching all these guys doing tutorials on YouTube, and or not even tutorials, but they were just doing live streams on YouTube, and then it was like they all kind of disappeared, and only one of them is still regularly streaming anymore out of like 7 guys that I was following a couple years ago. I largely blame NFTs. And a lot of it dissolved into internet drama. Some people just didn't want to be in the thick of drama, pointless drama every day. Some people just thrive on it every day. It's like, that's not a good, it's not good. Like, I don't want to be, I don't even want to support people who make their money off of their own drama. I'd rather support an artist trying to make profit off their work. Not that any of the guys that I was following were trying to make profit off their drama necessarily, but they were kind of in that mire. I want people to know they ain't jack. I want them to be who they wanted to become. Sure. Yes. Oops. I'm just thinking, what am I thinking? What am I thinking? There's a lot of unearned confidence. I don't even know if that's what I'm trying to say. I forget. I've lost my train of thought. I'm sorry. Heavy-handed. You say, thank you for listening to me ramble on about my problems. But you think you're going to go back to bed. Okay. Well, anytime, Crimson. Thanks for stopping by. I hope you feel better. I don't know. I never feel like I have much to offer on that kind of stuff. But I'm happy to listen at the very least. And yeah. Don't I don't know. I'll see you next time. I hope you feel better. I do. Just hanging out and be able to talk without judgment is more than enough. So thank you again. Anytime. I'm happy to be there for you. At all. If only at all. And I, for one, would be pretty upset if anything happened to you. For what it's worth. Adios. Crimson says bye, Lucky. And have a good one and tell your dad I'm glad he's better now. Will do. I will. And he asks about you every once in a while. I tell him what you're up to as far as I'm aware. So, yeah, I'll definitely tell him. He'll appreciate that. Thank you. Let's see. Do you have any hodgepodge characters? Says Bucky. Let me see. What do you even mean by that? Maybe. Like two or more characters merged into one. I don't think exactly, though that is totally something that I feel like I would have. I do have an imaginary friend character in a different set of characters who is he's part human boy and he's part deer, so he has like one antler coming off one side of his head and like part deer face, and he's got like these stitches running down his face, and then he's got a lobster claw for one arm. But he's not exactly but he's one character. He's just somebody's imaginary friend, so he's all sorts of stuff. His name's Wesley. I haven't used him in anything yet. Even though I always meant to. I've written him into scripts for stuff. I almost animated him a couple times, but I never did. Yeah. The two or more characters merged into one. I'm racking my brain because that does feel like something I would have done. But I don't think so. What's a good example of that you're familiar with? I'm trying to think of one I've even seen. Like in Toxic Crusaders, the Toxic Crusaders cartoon. There's the two-headed guy, Headbanger, who is, I think, Fender and Dr. Bender. That was one of my favorite toys growing up. trying to think of another one. Besides other two-headed characters. Well, Cat Dog. I mean, that's kind of just a two-headed character. Two characters in one. I feel like I'm trying to think of like something where there's like two souls in one body kind of thing. I feel like there's something like that that's on the tip of my brain, but I can't think of one. In Transformers Cyberverse, there are characters called SL. I think I'm done. Probably check the wiki before I make myself look like. Okay. I would never know. I never got into Transformers. I thought, like, when I first found out about them, they seemed like something I would like, and then I just never really got into them. My nephew is really into Transformers. He's huge on Transformers. So I've bought him plenty, but I still know nothing about them. Let's see. Here it is. Page something. Page 183. But the writers wanted to include multiple Insecticons, but due to budget limitations, they were all merged into one character in the end. So wait, there's only one Insecticon? Or, does it have anything to do with like a hive mind? That's kind of neat. That'd be interesting. You could do something cool with that, I feel like. Oh, this camera, I can never understand what it's going to do. Anyway, you said the character writing is kind of inconsistent, but that's because it wasn't meant for one character. It was meant for two very different personalities. Okay. Are you trying to write something with a character like that right now? Are you still writing? Trying to see if there's any book that I have with something like that. Probably. I feel like I'm overlooking a big one. Anyway. Oh, it has been a long 2 days. Today I got home at like 7:30 or so a.m. and then I slept. Oh, not intentionally, you say. I slept till like 5. And I didn't get going until like 7. So that's why it's such a late stream today. Tomorrow I'm going to try and get on as early as possible, which is usually never as early as I hope, because I'm hanging out with my buddy tomorrow evening at least, who's visiting from Texas. So we're probably going to be hanging out all evening. Something broke. What broke? Never mind. Okay. Well, anyway. Good to see you, Vucky. I haven't seen you in a bit. But I'm out of here. I think I'm gonna get me something to eat, and at the very least I have to move my car. And then hopefully get to bed before too late, so I can get stuff done tomorrow. Anyway, you said you put this stream in mini window and it went black. Oh, okay. Cool. Adios, Fucky. Good to see you. Bye. This has been Ink the Book Show with me, Ryan O'Connor, drawing my first graphic novel, Bonehead. I'll be back tomorrow. So, like it or lump it, I'll be here. Bye, everybody. Bye.